The air crackled with anticipation. The city of Rome had not seen such a gathering in years. People from all walks of life, from different corners of the globe, had converged upon this historic city. The atmosphere was electric, filled with a sense of hope and renewal. The streets were alive with chatter, laughter, and even tears of joy. It was a moment that transcended the ordinary, a moment destined to be etched in history. Sunlight bathed St. Peter's Square, where millions had gathered. The square, a symbol of faith and unity, had transformed into a sea of faces, each one reflecting a unique story and journey. The golden rays of the sun seemed to bless the occasion, casting a warm glow over the assembled masses. It felt as though the heavens themselves were acknowledging the significance of this day. All eyes were on the balcony. The anticipation was palpable. Whispers filled the air as people speculated about the new leader who would soon appear. This balcony, from which countless historic announcements had been made, was now the focal point of the world's attention. It was a moment of collective breath-holding, a shared expectation. A new pope was about to address the world. Then, Pope Tagle, the first Asian pontiff, stepped forward. His smile was warm, full of kindness and understanding. As he waved to the crowd, a wave of emotion swept through the square. This was history in the making, a moment signaling a new direction for the Catholic Church. His eyes held a deep, quiet strength. They were the eyes of a man who had seen much, endured much, and emerged stronger for it. There was a serenity in his gaze, a calm assurance that inspired confidence. This was not just another speech. It was a defining moment. The world stood at a crossroads, and the decisions made in the coming days and years would shape the Church's future. Pope Tagle's words carried the promise of change. His voice, though gentle, resonated with power. He spoke of love. He spoke of compassion. His message was one of inclusivity, of reaching out to those who had felt marginalized or forgotten. It was a message that resonated deeply, a message that promised a brighter future. He spoke of a church that embraced all, a church that was not just a place of worship, but a family, a community. His words were a call to action, a call to embrace the values of love, compassion, and inclusivity. The crowd listened in rapt attention, hanging on to every word. This was not just a change in leadership, it was a change in direction, a change in vision. It was a moment that signaled a new beginning, a fresh start. Then, his words took an even more powerful turn. Pope Tagle did not shy away from the painful realities of the past. He challenged the Church to confront its history, to acknowledge the mistakes that had been made over centuries. His call for introspection was not just a critique, but a plea for genuine transformation. He spoke of the need for forgiveness and reconciliation, emphasizing that healing could only begin when the truth was acknowledged and amends were made. His words carried weight. He condemned the abuse scandals that had shaken the Church to its core. He did not attempt to sugarcoat the truth. He confronted the issue head-on, acknowledging the deep wounds inflicted on countless individuals. His condemnation was clear and unequivocal. He called for accountability, emphasizing that true repentance required action, not just words. The Church, he insisted, must take concrete steps to ensure that such atrocities never happen again. He demanded justice for the victims. His voice carried the pain and anger of those who had suffered, making it clear that justice was not just a legal matter, but a moral imperative. The reaction of the crowd was a mix of solemn nods and silent tears. This was a moment of reckoning. But Pope Tagle did not stop there. He spoke of the plight of the poor and marginalized. He highlighted the Church's mission to serve those who were often forgotten by society. He reminded the faithful that true Christianity meant reaching out to the needy, the forgotten, and the oppressed. He called for economic justice, speaking passionately about the need to address systemic inequalities that perpetuate poverty and suffering. His words were a rallying cry for change, urging the Church to take a stand against economic oppression. He condemned greed and inequality, speaking out against the excesses of the wealthy and the exploitation of the vulnerable. His Speech was a powerful indictment of systems that prioritize profit over people. His words were a beacon of hope for the oppressed, offering a vision of a more just and compassionate world. Pope Tagle's journey to the papacy was remarkable. Born into a devout Catholic family in the Philippines, he had witnessed firsthand the struggles of ordinary people. This experience shaped his worldview and ignited within him a passion for social justice.